My mortgage on my starter home is $4,845 every single month here in Columbus, Ohio. And one of the things that I think is so frustrating for me is when I talk to people who bought homes in 2015, 2014, or people who are older than me, I'm 28, or people who are in their late 30s, early 40s. And it's just you guys really don't understand how unaffordable housing has become. My house years before I bought it was a $300,000 house, and it still is a $300,000 house because there were no updates made to the home whatsoever. It had all of the original things in it, and it was so outdated. And it's just one of the things that I feel is really frustrating for me to look around and see. I have an income where my base salary is well over $300,000 annually, and still having a $5,000 mortgage every single month is insane. It is so much freaking money. I don't know how people my age, I don't know how this generation is going to be able to save, because childcare and food and gas and everything and electricity, everything is so expensive right now. So how are you even supposed to save to get the down payment? But even if you get the down payment, how, who can afford these mortgage prices? I understand that I am in a unique position, but that's not the norm. How are normal American families able to afford housing? How something has to change. And it's one of the things that I think about constantly, and it really stresses me out. It stresses me out for my friends, it stresses me out for my children. It's just so sad, because being able to afford a home and be a homeowner and start a family and do all of that and have your own space is so important. It's a part of the American dream, and it's quickly becoming a thing of the past. Everyone is going to be stuck renting if things don't fix.
No one can buy a house anymore. So now we're forced to rent. But then the rent got expensive. So now we have to buy an RV. And now it's illegal to live in the RV. So we try to live in our car. It's illegal to live in the car too! So we become homeless? We can still live on the street. But you know that's fucking illegal.
America has become completely unaffordable, and I don't know why more people are not talking about this. Half of America doesn't even have a savings, rent is insane, healthcare is a luxury, and somehow the narrative is still people are just bad with money. What money? People are working full-time. Most people have 2 to 3 jobs anymore because you have to. At what point do we stop blaming the people and just accept the fact that the cost of living has simply just outpaced reality? Because everything is this expensive, you have to know exactly where all of your money is going anymore. A budget is just simply a necessity. You have to have one. Started using a budgeting app like mine to figure out where all of my money is going, but it does not make up for the fact that America is too expensive to live in anymore. If you're struggling, you are not alone.
The American dream is becoming harder to reach for many families. In this video, we'll look at the story of some MAGA voters who say rising living costs have left them struggling to afford the life they once believed was within reach, and why some are now questioning the direction of the country. All right, let's take a look at some of these eye-opening clips. And please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, let's get into it.
Younger Americans have been shut out of the market. What is going on?
Well, I think this is just bad luck of a generation, to be honest with you. Housing affordability has really gotten out of touch for so many Americans. We saw the share of first-time home buyers drop to just 21%. And that's from the National Association of Realtors. It's the lowest number on record going back to the early 80s. So what we know is that younger Americans, while they wish they could buy a house, 50% say, hey, I can't afford a down payment with prices at these levels, and I can't afford to maintain and afford
renting.
The regular cost. They're renting. Now, is that a bad thing? I don't know. I think it's a smart move.
Can you build stability like that? Long-term financial stability?
I think that we have to get off this notion that the American dream is defined by owning a home.
I got you.
I think that people can rent, invest their money, and be very happy and have flexibility until prices and homes become more affordable.
And have to redefine the American dream.
You betcha.
Jill, thank you so much.
In Texas, childcare is now more expensive than college.
Wow.
So for young working families with young kids, this is pricing them out of the American dream. And so I've passed bills to bring down costs in all of those areas. I want to do that at the federal level. There's even more that we could do in Washington to start to restructure the economy so that working people, middle-class people can finally build a life, build wealth for themselves and their families.
Housing seems like one of the biggest costs that has been a pain point for people now for almost a decade, whether you're not able to buy a home, whether you can't afford your rent, young people thinking they're never going to be able to buy a home.
Right. And they're not wrong.
Right.
I mean, I saw a stat that 90% of baby boomers went on to earn more money than their parents. For millennials like me, it's 50%. It's even lower for Gen Z. And owning your first home is such a key part of that dream. And there's kind of a sequence, because if you can't buy a house, then it's hard to start a family, hard to have kids, hard to get rooted in a community, hard to build wealth. So these things build on each other. And if we're robbing young people from the ability to afford their first home, you're really locking them out of the American dream. And I don't think older generations understand the damage and the harm that that's doing to young people all over this country.
This is wild, and I want to make sure you don't miss it. We all know that Donald Trump said, on day one, I'm going to get prices down for Americans, right? Look at what's happening now. This is a brand new poll from The Guardian. It just came out today. Half of Americans struggle to afford groceries and gas. Half of Americans. Guardian calls this a grim portrait of cost of living crisis and says that about 57% of polled Americans also believe the economy is worsening, because it is. The poll also says that 95% of Americans now believe the U.S. is suffering an affordability crisis. 95%! And this is not just Democrats, y'all. Pessimism about the economy has increased for all Americans of all parties. Look at that, just whoop, for everyone. In February, 22% of Republicans said the economy was getting worse. Now that's up to 38% of them, of Republicans. Then they asked people whether they thought jobs in their area were disappearing. Look at rural Americans. 41% of them say good job opportunities in their local area are disappearing. By the way, when it comes to rural Americans, 64% of them now say the economy is getting worse, compared with 46% who said that in February. And again, look at these specific numbers. The percentage who responded they are having trouble affording gas, 52%, groceries, 51%, loan payments, 46%, utilities, 46%. Oh, and don't forget, half of those polled said they're struggling to afford their debt, including student loan debt. This is the economy after a year and a half of Donald Trump and the Republicans in full control. But don't worry, because Donald Trump is on the job, if you consider the job building a new helipad on the White House lawn.
Beautiful helipad. And it's got the seal of the White House on it, in granite, in carved granite. It's a beautiful thing.
A beautiful thing, he says. But as for this, oh well, he doesn't have an opinion about it at all, because as far as he's concerned, it's not true, it's not real, and your struggles are fake news. And if you're not mad about that, you should be extremely.
$50 to make homemade hamburgers?
This is what $10 worth of groceries looks like. This was $200.
Pump stops at $150. I'm not even at 3/4 of a tank.
I just spent $70 on a tank of gas.
I just paid $6.99 for a bag of chips that was filled a quarter way with chips and 75% air.
I want to remind you that in this last year, Donald Trump's wealth has increased threefold. He's up to almost $8 billion. Don Jr., his wealth increased sixfold. He's at $50 million. And Eric Trump, the big winner, his wealth increased tenfold to almost $500 million in 1 year. And MAGA wants to know, what's the big master plan? Trump's playing 5D chess. I'll tell you exactly what that master plan is. It is to extract as much money from you as fucking possible. That's why Trump was sued 3,000 times by small businesses, because they did work and Trump refused to pay him. Trump University got sued because he was fucking scamming students, selling them 3-day real estate classes, the gold package, for $35,000 and not delivering anything. His charity got shut down because Trump was taking money that was meant for children and veterans, and he bought himself a $10,000 self-portrait. The plan never changed. And now these motherfuckers are trying to change voting laws and gerrymandering so that they stay in power, so that your fucking vote don't matter. If you feel like your voting rights are infringed upon, or you feel intimidated, or you feel like something's not right, you call these people up, because they are collecting evidence for a massive lawsuit against the federal government. Because make no mistake, these motherfuckers want to stay in power. No matter what, they want to stay in power. And we cannot let them.
It went from $785 to nearly $1,600 a month.
Your rent effectively doubled.
Yes.
Over, what, 7 years?
Yeah.
6 years, 7 years?
Yeah.
And your income presumably did not follow the same path over that period of time.
No, it did not go up at that rate at all.
In the Midwest, which is supposed to be the most affordable place in the country, the type of place that you can raise a family outside of the big cities and the surging prices, why is there a massive affordability crisis here when it comes to housing? Home prices in the Cleveland metro area have surged more than anywhere else in the country. Rent prices, they've gone right along with them. We sat down with Jolene. She was living in a sibling's basement, despite being in her 40s, having worked her entire career, really worked since she was 13 years old, and yet facing the reality of there were no other options.
I know a lot of single people that are my age and that still have to live at home or with roommates because it's not affordable to live on your own as a single person anymore. Like, you just can't swing it. You're told, work hard. You know, when you're growing up, get a job, work hard, and you'll get a house. It seems now that you can work hard, but you're gonna keep working hard, and it doesn't really feel like you're getting ahead or that the payoff is worth it, really.
Driving around Parma, Ohio, and seeing starter homes at $300,000 is just different than, I don't know, how I grew up in Ohio.
Right, that was the real nice house that everyone would go in the neighborhood and go and check out was the, you know, the $300,000 house. And now that's literally, you're getting a 2-bedroom little condo looking house for that price with no yard. The Midwest was like the secret where you can not have to spend all of your money on mortgage and rent, and you can live comfortably, and it's not that way anymore.
Alabama's MAGA politicians have betrayed the people that voted them in. Prices are skyrocketing, and these folks are supposed to be representing us in Washington, D.C. It seems like they're doing everything in their power to make it worse. Just today, the USPS, that's the Postal Service, came out with an 8% fuel surcharge on all shipped packages. This is the first time that's happened in history. And it's not just going to hurt everyday Americans, everyday Alabamians, but it's going to hurt businesses across our country too. My name's Kyle Sweetser, and I'm running for United States Senate to bring common sense back to Washington, D.C., and to focus on what matters most to people, the fact that life is unaffordable in America. But I'm going to need your help getting there.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive in, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please let me know your thoughts in the comment. So today we are talking about a concern that is affecting many Americans, the rising cost of living. Some MAGA voters are now saying they are struggling to keep up with the cost of groceries, rent, fuel, healthcare, and other everyday expenses. They are asking a simple question: why does it feel harder to get by than ever before? Now let's be fair, financial pressure isn't just, affecting one political group. Americans from different backgrounds and political views have talked about feeling squeezed by higher price and the rising cost of living every day by day. For some family, the American dream of a stable job, a home, the ability to provide for their children feel further away than it once had or once did. The frustration has led many people to question whether the leaders they voted for are delivering the results they expected. And at the same time, others argue that today's economic challenge are, being influenced by many factors, including inflation, global events, government policy, and long-term economic trend. It's very simple as blaming one person or one political party. The bigger question is, how can America make everyday life more affordable for ordinary families? Because at the end of the day, most people don't wake up thinking about politics or political parties. They wake up thinking about, paying bills, putting food on the table, and building a better future for their children or for their home. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is American dream becoming harder to reach? What should leaders do to help the working family? I'd like you to leave your thoughts in the comments. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more honest conversation about politics, society, and the issue affecting our everyday life. All right, thanks for watching, and see you all in my next video.